Hi, this is Makola Spokane, the leader and the founder of the Young Men Empowerment Forum. Today I want to deal with part 2 of the great topic that we started that speaks about indicators of maturity in your life. Indicators of maturity in your life. I've said that it is very, very key and very important that you prioritize maturity in your life. Because maturity will help you to achieve things that you would otherwise not achieve. Maturity will help you to break through in areas that you may not be able to break through and succeed in other issues that you may have not been able to succeed, but maturity will help you to enter those and be able to achieve things that you wouldn't achieve in normal cases. Now, because of that, I'm dealing with part 2 today. I want to emphasize that another indicator of maturity is when you start to forgive more. When you start to realize that bearing hatred in my heart and carrying unforgiveness in my heart is useless. When you start to realize that, you are maturing. You start getting matured. Because it's very important for us to understand that unforgiveness is not a danger to the person that you doesn't forgive, but it's a danger to you, the person who's not forgiving. Now, as a young man, there are areas that have hurt you in your life. And some of you might have grown out of families where it was a single mother. Your father ran away from you. Your father denied you while you were young, and he said you're not his son or not his child. Now, I want you to look at this and say, I may have harbored this hatred and unforgiveness in my heart against my father. But when I mature, I need to decide. Because forgiveness is a decision, saints, and therefore you need to know that it is your decision to decide to forgive. It's not based on how you feel. It's a decision of mind and saying, I'm going to forgive whether this person has hurt me deeply or not. Because when we speak about forgiveness, it shows that, therefore, there must be somebody who has hurt you. May I mention that in this life, you'll go through storms, you'll go through hurts, you'll go through pains, you'll go through misery, and people will step on your toes often, and you'll find that you may actually be exposed to hatred and unforgiveness. But I want to urge you that when you mature and grow, you'll start forgiving more, because forgiveness is now understood to be a liberator. When you mature, you start to understand that this is breaking of chains and liberating me and setting me free when I forgive. Because it's only through maturity that you would know that it is actually a setting free moment when you forgive. Listen to this. When you don't forgive, you are harboring the burdens of the person that you're not forgiving. You're forever miserable. And most of you end up not sleeping at night because of unforgiveness. You're holding grudges and you start planning evil against the people that you didn't forgive. You wish them wrong. You wish them bad. That bad can happen to them. But I want to tell you that even if bad can happen to them, you're not going to gain anything, because it's not the downfall of your enemy that will make you successful. And I want to emphasize, when you start to forgive and liberate yourself from unforgiveness, you start to see doors opening. You start to see a breakthrough in your life and success that you've been aspiring for. The potential that you have, you start to see it emerging into success. And I want to emphasize this because many of you have held yourself at ransom. You have kept yourself in prison because of unforgiveness. And as I've said, some of you cannot forgive your fathers. Some of you cannot forgive your mothers. Maybe your mother has dumped you as a baby in a dustbin, and you grew up being looked after by people that are not your parents. And this is very key, that you still forgive them despite of that. And let me say this, that forgiveness doesn't mean that you'll forget what happened. But forgiveness is a state of mind, of decision that you decide, I'm going to forgive this person. I may not forget, but I'm going to take away the sting of this pain that I have and forgive this person. And as you do so, you are liberating yourself, as I've said earlier. Now, when you mature, you'll realize that you forgive more. And I want to emphasize now that as a young man, facilitate your maturity by starting to forgive more. And that's very key, because when you start to forgive more, you're actually moving towards maturity. And that's very, very key. Now, secondly, the indication that you are maturing is you become more open-minded. The people that are maturing, they are open-minded to an extent that they are able to listen to anybody for advice. They are actually listening to everybody who is bringing new ideas to their minds. And that's open-mindedness. Now, to be closed-minded limits you. And it makes you not to see progress because there are things that other people know better that you don't know. There are things that other people are more experienced in them that you are not having the experience. There are things that people are orientated better in them that you don't know. But it's only when you are open-minded to them that you are going to accept some advices or some ideas from other people that will help you to develop into a better person. Now, a closed-up person, the person who's not open-minded, they fail to progress any further from where they are. Now, as a young man, I want to urge you to become open-minded. Now, open-minded would mean that you are actually not denying yourself of opportunity to learn, even from people that you may think that you cannot learn from them. Like young people, for instance, people that are younger than you. And sometimes we close our minds and say, now, this is a young person, person is younger than me, and they cannot teach me anything because they've got no experience. Listen to this. It's not about the experience that they have. And some of them could know something because of just their level of intelligence. They are young, but they know things better than you sometimes. And that is the reason why you should be open-minded. Now, open-mindedness means that it's a readiness to learn new things. Whether in reading, and you are learning from your reading, going to school again and studying, and that's being open-mindedness. And therefore, you're going to learn many other things that you may have not known in your life. That's open-mindedness. Be ready to learn even from people that are less educated than you. And that's open-mindedness. Be ready to learn even from people that you think they are less cultured than you. People that you think they are poorer than you. So learn from them, and that's being open-minded. And you find that the tips that you get from them, that you learn from them, are the very same ones that you can apply in your life. You may apply them in your own business. You may apply them in your own studies and see the success of them because you've applied those. And I want to emphasize that somebody who's maturing is open-minded. Now, people that are open-minded are the people that are able to listen. They are actually using their ears to listen more than talking. There's a reason why you've been given 2 ears and only 1 mouth. And the reason is because you have to listen twice more than you talk so that you can learn from other people. And that's open-mindedness, when you're able to listen. And as you listen and be able to grasp some information and ideas that might be important for your life, that may impart something important, that may help you in everything that you do in your life. You may not need this information today, but listen to this, that open-mindedness is able to grab information now, store it in the subconscious, but yet later use that information because you may need that information in the life to come. And that's very important. Now, open-mindedness is saying that you may not need this information now, but you might need it tomorrow. You might not need this person now, but you might need this person tomorrow. You might not need this book now, but keep it because you might need this book tomorrow. That's open-mindedness. And I want to urge you as a young man to start being open-minded, because open-mindedness, as much as it's a sign or indication of maturity, it also promotes maturity because your open-mindedness is actually making you to be able to mature because you're learning more, as I've said earlier, out of open-mindedness. Be open-minded about suggestions, with suggestions of people, towards suggestions of people. Be open-minded towards ideas that people are suggesting and bringing to you. And be open-minded at all times with life, because things can be different. Be open-minded and learn new things as well. And particularly now that you can see that the world of technology has taken over. And there are those of you who will say, no, I've not learned technology a long time ago. But as a young man, please, I want to urge you to be open-minded and learn new things right now. I want to end up here today. This is Maikona Spokane, the leader and the founder of the Young Men Empowerment Forum. I will deal with part 3 tomorrow. Please join us as we deal with part 3. May the good Lord bless you, and cheers for now.